Hello everyone and welcome back to another review video. Today is very special, not only because I am reviewing the Glock 18C, but we also finally got a newer camera. Yay! So, I can bring you higher definition footage of the product that you want to see the most. So this is actually the second time I've been recording this because this is such a unique pistol that I want to make sure that I get the point across and there's no misunderstanding of what I may possibly mean. So I am trying to be as transparent as possible when I'm reviewing this product. If you guys have been watching the channel long enough, you know that I am a Glock guy. I love my Elite Force Glocks for their superior performance and their high quality builds. Compared to a Wii or a Tokyo Marui, I know what you're going to say. I know it already, but if you have not watched Red Wolf's comparisons of all of the Glocks, they do go with the Umarex Elite Force Glocks over a Wii or Tokyo Marui. I understand that Wii and Tokyo Marui have more upgrade parts aftermarket, but for stock out of the box, Elite Force Glocks, and even in my personal opinion, it's my personal opinion, and it's a very strong opinion, but even after Tokyo Marui and a Wii Glock, I will still take an Elite Force Glock, just because they're going to be the best. So even after all of that, explaining to you that I am a Glock guy, I love my Glocks, my Elite Force Glocks, there's still something about the 18C that rubs me the wrong way. Maybe it's the extended magazine, maybe it's the option to do full auto on a pistol. I'm not a huge fan of either of those, so I'm going to be a little biased against it, but I am not going to let that dissuade you guys from wanting to pick this up, because it is still a phenomenal pistol, and I want to give it the credit that it deserves. Elite Force does a lot of work to make sure that all of the pistols they carry perform to the best possible for the standards that they uphold. And they have very high standards for all of their products that they have out currently on the market. And the 18C is no exception to this whatsoever. So with a whole magazine, kind of observing the range of velocity that it has, it can go from 311 to 270. Now this is a large capacity magazine. It's 50 rounds specifically. So as you're firing, especially at a little bit faster of a pace, even on semi, that is going to have the green gas or the propane cool down, and when gas cools down, it's not going to have as much volume to the next shot. So that's where you're going to see that wider range, especially later on in. So the 18 is going to be just like all of the other Elite Force Glocks. You have your full trades, you've got all of the awesome features that is coming on all of the other Glocks. The 18C is essentially a Glock 17 Gen 3 that just has your selector on here. It's copying a Gen 3, it's a 17 length, it's your standard double stack width for the slide in the frame overall. You can stick 19X or 17 magazines into here and it will still work, it will still fire. So a couple of things that kind of stand out are going to be the serrations on the barrel as well as the cutout on the slide itself. Now with the real Glock 18C, this is to allow recoil reduction as you fire it in full auto, making it a little easier to handle. For Airsoft, this is purely aesthetic. It's not going to do anything, at least for performance. On the slide, you had Glock 9x19. Oh wait, you got your Glock 18C Austria 9x19. Down on the frame, you are going to have Glock logo again. Flip to the other side. You've got your serial number here. You've got your trademark licensed product of, or officially licensed product of Glock. Down underneath the frame, you are going to have your individual serial number. Drop in the bucket iron sights. It's Gen 3 as far as the stippling and the texturing on the grip. It's a Gen 3 magazine release. It's got your trigger safety on here. It breaks down just like every other Glock, where you have your two tabs here. You're going to pull those down. I like to hit the slide release, and that momentum just carries it forward a little bit. I have noticed with the 18s, they are a little stiff, so giving it a couple taps on the back seems to be pretty normal. Now inside you are going to have the Gas 17 Gen 3 recoil spring here. It's not going to be like the 17 Gen 4 CO2 or the 19X recoil spring. And because of that, I would not suggest using CO2 mags on here. In fact, we have tested the velocity, and it is shooting about 360, 370 feet per second, which I think is a little hot, especially for the pistol, and it is definitely not fielded or fieldable at the local indoor airsoft field, Airsoft Arena, our go. The magazine that's going to come with it is going to be the extended magazine, the 50-round magazine. Now with this type of magazine, again, 50 rounds, it's going to be in a wide double stack, a little wider than normal. The gas fill valve is going to be back here. You have to set your magazine horizontal in order to fill that magazine correctly. Now, with Elite Force and their social media, they put out a video suggesting 5 to 6 fills. Let me show you what they mean by fills. So you're going to take your canister, magazine held horizontally. You're going to fill it to the count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. until you get to 10. Release it. Let it sit for another 10 seconds. And then you're going to fill it up again for another 10 seconds. And so you're going to physically fill it 10 separate times. That is what we have noticed up here in Wisconsin, in the northern states where it's colder, and we're in like the middle of winter, so it gets really, really cold. So we have had to fill it 10 total times between using it here at the store, in a 50-degree warehouse, and 10 total times at the Airsoft Arena, which is 60 degrees inside, 60 to 70 degrees, in order to make it work effectively. When you're in a southern state and you're still in the middle of winter, it can get pretty hot. So you don't need to fill it so many times in order to get the same amount of gas volume in order to get through a whole extended magazine. Just so you guys are aware, if you're in northern states and you're having issues with the magazine, make sure that you fill it 10 separate times. Oh, another trick. There are some times where customers cannot physically fill as much gas as they're used to. This trick is called a magazine bleed. What you're going to do is you're going to take your canister, you're going to fill it for just a second, maybe 2 seconds, something to just give it a little bit of gas. You don't want to fill it. And then with your finger, you're going to hit the release valve, and that is going to bleed the magazine of any sort of extra oxygen or atmospheric gases that are built up inside of the magazine here. By releasing all of those extra gases, you can fill more of the propane gas in order to get more shots. It's the same thing you can do with your standard 17 magazines or any green gas type of magazines. That bleed trick does not work on CO2 magazines. Just so you guys know, you learned. With the 18, it has a similar barrel to that of the 19X, where you can hold the orange tip and you can rotate the 18 freely. So trying to remove the orange tip is really, really difficult. In fact, I still do not suggest removing the orange tip. Now, if you guys have watched the MP7 review video, I said in there as well that you do not remove the orange tip. And if you want a reason to not remove the orange tip, it's because it voids the warranty. Okay? These come with a 60-day warranty. So day 2 of owning this, you remove the orange tip, and then day 3 it breaks. Well, you're shit out of luck because you can't return it, and you can't get it sent in for warranty because the orange tip is removed. You putzed with it, it voids the warranty. So now you're out a broken pistol 3 days in, which this is all 100% hypothetical. It's not going to break 3 days into it. But if it does, that is why you don't remove the orange tip. So moving back internally, I want to show you guys the most notable internal upgrade that the 18 has. The 18 features a magnetic hammer, which means it is going to be a steel or an iron, maybe? No, not iron. I forget the list of materials, but because it's magnetic, it's a more pure of a metal. And even compared to all of the other Glocks that are on the market, which don't have a magnetic hammer. So this will physically last longer because it is a pure metal. I'm saying it's steel. If you guys want to prove me wrong, go ahead. Make sure to leave a comment down below. So this will actually last much, much longer compared to everything else. And the reason why they probably went with a stronger, more pure metal is because of the full auto. Having that full auto capability is going to wear down the internals of a pistol, a gas pistol, or even a CO2 pistol significantly faster, because these are a lot of pretty brittle internal parts that are just getting rocked back and forth with that full auto. So getting something that's going to withstand much, much more is going to be more beneficial. And overall, using this as the store demo pistol and going down to the arena playing with it, I would venture to say that this has had 1,000 shots put through it, and overall pretty minimal wear and tear. In fact, almost nothing. I mean, other than the very top of the barrel here where the chamber would be, getting that worn down, but that's pretty standard when it comes to Glocks because of how the barrel moves as you fire. This square goes down, rides along the top of the slide, comes back up. So it gets pushed down, rides along the top of the slide, comes back up. So this just physically wears down the top of the slide there much faster. Or that's why the very top of your barrel gets worn out quickly. Also, do be careful when you're putting your slide back on, not to just jam it on there. It's still a polymer spring guide. It's still pretty, I don't want to say brittle, but I have seen videos of some people just slamming the slide onto the frame, and that makes me cringe just a little bit. So my final thoughts are the Elite Force Glock 18C is yet another excellent example of the dedication that Umarex is putting forward or putting towards their Glock lineup, or really any of their pistols, any of their rifles, literally all of their products that are putting a lot of effort into. And so, sure, I'm not a fan of the 18C, but I love literally all the other Glocks. And the 18C has so far proven that it works, and it works really, really well. So I don't mean to deny it any sort of spotlight. I don't mean to say that it's bad, because it's not. It's actually a great pistol if that's what you guys are into. And in fact, Elite Force really, they deserve the Glock license because they're making a way better pistol, in my opinion, than a Wii or Tokyo Marui. Again, say what you will. That's my personal opinion. If you guys want to argue or bicker about it, you can come to the store, not fill up the comments section. Anyway, so if you guys want to pick up the 18C, you can come by the Airsoft Headquarters. They're available at the Airsoft Arena if they are still in stock, because like I said, they are very, very popular down there. We also sell the magazines by themselves for $54, I believe. Don't quote me. I don't rightfully remember off the top of my head. But we sell these just by themselves. So if you want to put it in your 17 or your 19 or your 19X, then by all means, you can do that. It will work. So I'm going to finish this off, and I'm going to go do another review video. You guys take care, and I will see you in the next one.